You weren't stolen in the night. You weren't dragged screaming from your family. Nothing so dramatic. Your father owed debts, and you had smooth skin, a quiet voice, and no brothers. So one morning, without warning, you were dressed in your best clothes, the ones saved for festivals. A ribbon in your hair. Then a stranger took your hand and led you away. You thought it was a mistake. That someone would stop it. That someone would come running. No one did. The journey was long, dusty, and quiet. No one spoke to you. Not really. They spoke around you, about you, never to you. You arrived in a city bigger than anything you'd ever imagined. Marble walls, gold domes, people who didn't look like you, didn't dress like you, didn't care who you were. They brought you through 3 doors, each heavier than the last. The last one locked behind you. The air smelled like rose water and sweat. The women inside didn't look at you with pity. They just looked. One of them laughed. Another said, "She won't last the week." You weren't sure if she meant physically or mentally. They bathed you, scrubbed your skin raw, oiled your hair, taught you words in a language that twisted your tongue. You slept on cushions that were softer than your bed at home, but they never felt like yours. You were given a new name, not asked, just told your old name. They said was too difficult, too foreign, too forgettable. You learned to walk a certain way, to smile without showing teeth, to speak without really saying anything. You didn't know when or if you would be chosen, but you knew you were expected to be ready. You weren't a wife. You weren't a servant. You were a decoration in waiting. And the most terrifying part? Some days it didn't feel so bad, because at least here, no one hit you. No one yelled. They just watched. And sometimes being watched felt almost like being seen, because you're never told what not to do. You learn by watching someone else do it first, and watching them disappear. A girl laughs too loudly during morning prayers. She's gone before nightfall. No goodbyes. No trace. Another one touches the wrong perfume bottle. The glass breaks. So does her hand. You learn quickly that silence is safer than curiosity. There are places you don't go, halls you don't enter, curtains you don't brush aside, and names you don't say. You eat only after the favorites are done. You bathe only after the youngest wives are finished. And you never ask when your turn is. You fold your clothes exactly as shown. One corner wrong and it's as if you questioned the empire. Every morning begins with ritual. Stretching, polishing, smiling. Practicing how to laugh at things that aren't funny. How to pause exactly the right number of seconds before answering. How to speak with your eyes, but not your voice. You spend hours learning dances that may never be performed. You rehearse greetings to men whose faces you'll never see. You practice turning, stepping, kneeling, not like a person, but like choreography. At night, you whisper your name to yourself. Just once. To make sure you still remember it. Just in case anyone ever asks again. Every night ends with guessing. Will it be today? Will your name be whispered? Will the guards come for you? Some girls pray not to be chosen. Others cry when they aren't. You try not to feel either way. The ones who break rules don't always vanish. Some come back quieter, slower, as if a piece of them was traded away. And sometimes they come back kinder, which is somehow worse. You pretend not to notice. You keep your head low. You learn the safest way to exist is to blend in until you're needed. And you hope, if hope is even the right word, that when you finally called, you'll remember what parts of yourself you're allowed to keep. It's not grand. There's no music, no announcement. Just a servant tapping your shoulder before sunrise. Dress nicely, she says, nothing else. You've imagined this moment 100 times. It never looked like this. Your hands shake as you apply the oils, not because you're scared, but because your body knows something you won't admit. You wear the dress they laid out for you. Pale blue, soft as breath, the kind of fabric you were never allowed to touch. The other girls don't look at you as you pass. Not out of jealousy, just superstition. No one wants to be next. No one wants to be you. You walk barefoot through the marble hall, escorted by two silent guards. They don't speak. They don't look. The room is quiet, lit by morning light. He's there, seated, not cruel looking, just ordinary. That's what surprises you the most. He doesn't ask your name. You're not here to speak. The moment
Patience
doesn't
and
last
precision
long.
are
No
key to
drama,
our success.
no shouting, just nods and steps and silence. He nods, you step forward, then it's over. When it's done, you return to your room. Your cushions are gone. Your clothes have been replaced. Your name tag is different. One of the younger girls whispers, "She's one of them now." Another one doesn't look at you again. You don't feel different, but everyone treats you like you are. And for the first time in a long while, you're not watched anymore. Your study dot measure dot compared. You were a question mark before. Now, you're an answer no one dares discuss out loud. You're called to a different table now. The food tastes the same, but the silence around it is heavier, as if words cost more here. You begin to walk slower, more deliberately. You wait longer before responding. You learn which glances mean approval and which ones mean you're being tested. The first thing you notice is how quiet everything becomes. Not on the outside. Inside you, the waiting is over. And with it, the version of yourself who used to hope. You rise before the others now. Not because you want to, because it's expected. Your new robes are finer, heavier. They don't belong to you, but you're responsible for keeping them perfect. You eat earlier, not better, just earlier. You're allowed honey now. Fresh fruit, it tastes like guilt. Some girls avoid you now. Others ask questions. What did he say? What was it like? You never answer. Not because you're keeping a secret, but because there's nothing worth saying. Nothing true that you're allowed to say. You no longer practice smiling in the mirror. You don't need to. You know how to stay still now. Perfectly still, like furniture. Or worse, like something expensive. Every now and then, someone visits. A noble woman, a guest. You're called to stand, to pour, to bow, and sometimes to lie. You're not trusted with secrets, but you are trusted with silence. You hear rumors about favorites, about power, about gifts and gold and letters sent in secret. You see the ones who try. You see the ones who fall. You try nothing because you've learned the truth. You survive here not by rising, but by never being noticed falling. And each time the door opens, you smile like it matters. Because sometimes that's the only thing you're still allowed to control. Sometimes you think about escape, not fleeing the palace, that's fantasy. You think about escaping the inside, about remembering the girl you used to be. You can still picture your mother's hands, but not her voice. You hum a song one night, just a few notes. You don't know why. The next morning, someone leaves a ribbon on your cushion, the same color as the one you wore when you arrived. No one says anything, but you tuck it under. Your robe. Years pass quietly. They always do when the days are all the same. You don't remember how long you've been here. No one keeps time. The seasons change. That's the only clock. New girls arrive, frightened, soft-voiced, looking for comfort. You don't speak to them. You don't want them to see what they'll become. Sometimes one disappears overnight. No one asks where. You already know. You forget your old name entirely. Not just because no one says it, but because it doesn't fit anymore. Your hands are softer now, but not because you're pampered. Because you've stopped holding anything tightly. You don't dream. Not in the way you used to. Now your dreams are shallow things. Colorless, silent. One morning, you wake up and realize no one looked at you yesterday. Not once. And you're not sure if that terrifies you or relieves you. You start to wonder what happens to the ones who stay too long. The ones who age out. The ones who no longer catch a glance. Some say they're married off. Others say they're sent away to a smaller place. Less polished. Less important. You hope it's true. You hope one day someone taps your shoulder and says, "Pack your things." But you don't hold your breath. And sometimes in the quietest hours, you speak your name again. The old one, just to see if it still fits. It does. You are still here, still whole, still smiling. But not once, not ever, did you get to choose. And in a place like this, surviving is not the same as living. Not even close.